Hello everyone and welcome back to the San Francisco 49er franchise. This is Husker Eurocat and we're back with the Niners offseason number 2. San Francisco made the postseason this last year but had a disappointing showing against the Vikings in their first playoff appearance in 5 years. The offense just didn't get the job done as the 49ers fell 20-17. It just makes me wonder what would have happened if the Niners could have pulled out that victory, since the Vikes got pummeled by the eventual Super Bowl champion Carolina Panthers 30-0. Just something that makes you go, Well, it's on to the offseason, and San Francisco should be able to field a really good returning team if they can hold on to some of their star players, that is. Before we get to the offseason, though, we need to see who the best of the best in the NFL during this last season was. I know that they weren't able to hoist a Lombardi trophy, but let's see if the 49ers were able to take home some of the individual hardware. The winner of the MVP award for the second season in a row was Cam Newton, followed up in second place again by Russell Wilson. This was not a surprise, seeing that Cam won the Super Bowl this season. And another thing that wasn't surprising was that the 49ers were not represented. Although the 49ers had a good season, the offense sputtered a lot this last season, and that needs to be worked on. Offensive Player of the Year is almost a complete replica of the MVP award, so Cam Newton wins that as well. Defensive Player of the Year goes to middle linebacker C.J. Mosley of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I was a little surprised that someone on the 49er defense didn't even get a mention, like Navarro Bowman was a beast this season. But it sounds as if that'll be something to work toward. Now, this was a shocker. A welcome shocker, but a shocker nonetheless. Ted Scott, halfback from San Francisco, was named Offensive Rookie of the Year. Just shows what kind of talent that the 49ers have in the wings. Defensive Rookie goes to Darren Bender, middle linebacker for the Raiders. Aaron Rodgers wins the Best Quarterback of the Year, and at least Jimmy Garoppolo ran in second position. I was a little stunned by this, since I thought Jimmy threw way too many interceptions this last season, but it kind of makes sense since the Pro Bowl had them first and second as well. Best running back goes to Giovanni Bernard of the Bengals, and Jerick McKinnon makes the final cut as well, but in the fourth position for the 49ers. The Best Wide Receiver of the Year goes to Dez Bryant. The winner of the Best Offensive Lineman is Trey Turner of the Panthers, and Joe Staley comes in second, playing left tackle for the 49ers. 38-year-old Julius Peppers wins the trophy for the Best Defensive Lineman of the Year. The old man is showing the young pups how it's done. And of course, the Linebacker of the Year award goes to our Defensive Player of the Year, C.J. Mosley. The Best Defensive Back award goes to cornerback Vontae Davis of the 6th and 10 Colts. Another case is made for the outstanding player that doesn't have to be on an elite team to get it done. The best kicker is Justin Tucker from the Seahawks, and the best punter is, for as long as I've been playing this game, this is the first time that I noticed that there is no winner for the best punter in the league. The Ray Guy Trophy has a lot of dust on it in this game anyway. And capping it off, the Coach of the Year is Kyle Shanahan of the 49ers. Hopefully, he'll be able to have a good season and win this next year as well. That leads us off into the off-season schedule, and the first thing that we come to is renewing some of the coaches' contracts. Because of the offense's less than outstanding showing this season, the offensive coordinator for the 49ers, John Embry, has been let go. Now, the search for a replacement starts, and what is available is former starting fullback for the Niners, Tom Rathman. His perseverance as a coach has paid off because he will be the next OC for the Niners. San Francisco was romancing Brian Daboll for a while anyway, and that was a definite possibility, but Coach Shanahan thought that the former 49er had a better grasp of building a great offense here in San Francisco. Now it's time for the players that are saying goodbye to playing on the gridiron, and the first up is 18-year veteran quarterback Drew Brees of the Saints. He was able to win a Super Bowl ring, and that's not something that just any quarterback can boast. And he also set numerous records during his career, not the least of which is breaking Johnny Unitas's 52-year record for the most consecutive games with at least one touchdown pass, currently held at 54 games. After 12 years in the NFL, the longtime Viking rock carrier Adrian Peterson is calling it quits after spending his last 2 seasons alongside Brees in NOLA. Again, from the Saints is fullback John Kuhn retiring, and it's going to be real interesting to see how New Orleans comes out of this one. That's some pretty significant losses to their offensive backfield. The Cowboys are bemoaning the fact that Jason Witten is saying so long, but the broadcast booth is calling his name, and of course he won't have to soak the aches and pains away after every game that way. I guess this should have been expected, but I'm not sure the Panthers are going to like this decision. Julius Peppers, after winning the Defensive Lineman of the Year award, making it to the Pro Bowl, and winning a Super Bowl ring, is finally saying goodbye. A number of linebackers are retiring from the game, and here Captain Munnerlyn, who was having a great season and a resurgence since signing with his old team, the Panthers, suffered a career-ending ruptured disc in the game against the Vikings. And finally, free safety D'Angelo Hall is calling it quits after 15 years making the big stops. Now it comes to the players that will be coming back, or at least the ones that want to come back. After last season's fiasco, who knows what's going to happen this year? Up first are the quarterbacks. Making a little bit of headway is Jaquan Burnett. He's almost at an 80 overall now, and maybe he can make a little more progress in the next couple of seasons, so I'll offer him a 2-year deal. At worst, I think he can make a good candidate for the practice squad. Brian Hoyer is starting to drop off a little as far as overall is concerned, so I don't think that he'll be asked to come back. At the halfback position, how can you not ask the Offensive Rookie of the Year not to come back? I still have to question the AI on that one, but let's give him a contract and see what happens. Here come the wide receivers. Now, Trent Taylor. He may not make the squad just because he's a little undersized for what I need him for, but at worst, he may be able to be traded after the preseason. I'm not sure, but let's offer him a contract and see if he bites, and he does. Kenny Bell, I think, is still a good fit at wideout. He's big and fast and is developing nicely, so he'll be asked to stay with the 49er organization. Now, Marquise Goodwin. I just like his speed at the return position, and his awareness is coming around. He's a little undersized as well for the wideout position, but with a little more development, I think we could make a great return specialist out of him. Aldrick Robinson, I think that 31 and still only an 80 overall is lacking, so you won't be asked to stay. Moving on now to left tackle, we have Kylan Delgado coming off his rookie season. It can't be any worse than an undrafted rookie at this point, so maybe he can develop a little more. At left guard is Denver Kirkland, which he may be a little competition for our rookies, so we'll keep him around as well. Moving on to the right tackle position is Nazarius Peterson. This will be his third year in the pros, and he's going to have to really show something special in preseason, but we'll keep him for that reason as well. Trent Brown, we're going to have to let you go. It'll be your 5th season in the NFL, and if you're not better than a 73 overall by now, you may not get much better. Moving on to the defense. At left end, we have Eric Armstead. There's no doubt in my mind that he needs to stay for a long, long time. So 6 years, that sounds good to me. Larry Webster. He may be in a battle with Nick Williams for the backup spot, so a short contract to see if he makes it out of preseason or not, I think that's in order. At defensive tackle, we have returning rookie Tom McGrath. He's coming along well and has a lot of work to do to catch up with DeForest Buckner, but I think he's worth the development. And who knows, DeForest only has 1 season on his contract, so you don't know what he'll do when that comes up either. For the left outside linebacker spot, we have Nicholas Grigsby. That needs a contract. This will be his 4th year in the league, and he may end up battling for that spot, but I think we can bring him back for preseason anyway. At right outside linebacker, we need to look at Ray Armstrong. He did some good things as a backup this last season, and at 28, he's probably not going to get a whole lot better, but should be a solid backup if someone doesn't beat him out in preseason. Next is cornerback Adrian Colbert, his 3rd year in the league, and he's a 78 overall. Okay, let's see what he can do in preseason. Rocco Fraser, it just looks like there'll be too much talent at cornerback this season for you to make it. Maybe you'll do better in free agency. Now there's Jimmy Ward at free safety. We need his experience for now. I think Threezy is developing nicely, but I don't know if he can take that position over quite yet. He did well in relief of Jimmy at the end of the season, so this is going to be a tough call. Either way, we need him around for now. Ed Reynolds is really going to have to show some good stuff in preseason to overtake Robinson Threezy, but stranger things have happened. At strong safety, Duke Iheanacho had a good season, and although he is 30 years old, I think this position is closely related to the free safety slot, His experience is needed because I don't think either Tart nor Perry is ready for the responsibility. Hopefully, with another season of development, Perry will be ready for next season. So if Josh Perry would spend another year on the practice squad, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Robbie Gould. He needs a new contract. Let's see. Should we give him one? Let me think. Yes. So now there are 4 players that need to find a home for the upcoming season. Well, let's change our mind about Rocco Fraser. He might be able to win a spot on the practice squad at least. I'm not sure. And call me a softy, but Aldrick Robinson, I think, might be able to, we might be able to get something in the trade block after the preseason is over. That's if he doesn't make the squad. I don't know. We'll see. So Brown and Hoyer are gone. All the rest will be sticking around, well, for the preseason anyway. Some are going to have to work really hard to stay on this roster, but at least they have a shot. Here's where I really have to apologize because my recording program messed up during the Madden AMP draft. But I do have the draftees to show you, and there are 15 of them, so I'll try to hurry this along. Starting with round 1. I drafted what I hope will be a successor for Joe Staley at left tackle Mike McGlinchey out of Notre Dame. He wanted a 5-year contract, and since he is a first-round pick, probably deserves that. So 5 years it is. He ended up being an 83 overall, and this next season will tell whether he can take over for Staley or not. The next pick was cornerback Javonte Dean. That turned out to be an 80 overall, but take a look at that speed. A 99 and 98 acceleration. Look out, Marquise Goodwin. There may be a new returner in town. Pick number 3, strong safety out of Florida State. Here comes Derwin James. He ended up being an 85 overall, so he'll be battling Dookie Inacho for the starting slot out the gate. Now, you may be noticing that these players are showing that they're a number 1 or first round draft pick, and that's something that I'll have to work on in NCAAs because they're not. James wasn't selected until the 20th pick of the second round. I don't know why Madden is doing that, but McGlinchey was the only true first-round pick in this entire draft class. The next pick was round 3, pick number 1, and I selected Rashaan Evans, and he turned out to be an 83 overall. So far, I can't be disappointed about this class. With back-to-back picks here, I chose Connor Williams, left tackle out of Texas. He rated an 81 overall, but with the move to left guard, was bumped up to an 85 overall, and he is going to be some serious competition for Kyle Long. Moving forward, only 2 picks later, I selected Isaiah Wynn, a true left guard, and an overall of 82. There's definitely going to be a logjam at that slot. With my 7th pick, I'm still in the 3rd round, mind you, and at pick number 18, I select right guard Shamir Devine, and he ended up being a 77 overall, so we're definitely seeing a drop-off in talent here. Not bad, but a drop-off. In the same round and only 2 picks later, I select free safety Quinn Blanding out of Virginia. he ended up being a 77 overall as well. Still, even though there has been a fall off, we're still seeing some strong prospects. At the end of the third round, and pick number 28, I chose another free safety, Trey Flowers. He ended up being a 77 overall, so another pick that gave really good competition at the free safety spot. Now into the fourth round, at pick number 2, I selected quarterback Austin Allen. With an overall of just 73, he's going to need some development. He's listed as a scrambling quarterback, but he isn't as fast as I would like to see for that purpose, so we'll see. Next, at right outside linebacker, I took Chris Fry Jr. out of Arizona State, who ended up being a 76 overall. Then came right guard Evan Martin at a 76 overall too. Then came another strong safety out of Baylor, Davion Hall at a 79 overall. Definitely a later round good grab. Now into the sixth round, I selected Ulysses Gilbert, the third out of Akron, at 72 overall. And with my last pick at number 220, I selected middle linebacker Matthew Thomas at a 78 overall. Nice grab to end the draft with, that I can tell you. From my calculations, there were only 2 sub-75 picks out of my draft class, so I'm going to call this draft a win. Now, you probably noticed that I skipped the first free agent draft period. That was intentional. It just seems that even the AI does a better draft if you wait until after the rookie draft. So next is the free agent period, and I only took 3 players from that. Remember that I want to develop a team instead of getting all my talent from the free agent pool. And with this draft class, I think I'm on my way to a better team. The headline of my choices in the free agent period was right end Deshaun Hall at 88 overall. He may become the backup at that slot instead of Chris McCain at this point. That left 9 undrafted free agent rookies to add to the roster. 2 quarterbacks, 2 halfbacks, 2 wide receivers, 2 centers, and 1 right tackle have been added, and you'll be seeing them in the preseason games guaranteed. So the 90-man preseason roster has been set, and there's going to be plenty of competition as players jockey for spots, if not on the regular season roster, the 10-man practice squad. Only 63 of these players are going to make it. The question is, who will be the ones to lead this team into the 2019 regular season? The preseason has 2 major network games. The first one is on Monday Night Football at the Panthers, and home on a Thursday night game against the Texans in our third matchup. Then there's the highlight in an away game in the new Las Vegas Stadium against the Raiders. I know it's a year early, but I couldn't take another season of not having the Raiders in their new home, and since they don't really know where they're going to play yet for the 2019 season, I decided to move them into their new stadium, for this franchise anyway. I'm absolutely stoked to find out how this group of guys is going to perform in the preseason, and I hope that you are as well. There's only one way to find out, and that is tuning in for the preseason matchups. So until I see you in Charlotte for our game against the defending Super Bowl champion Carolina Panthers, this is Husker Eurocat saying so long for now, and have a great day, everyone.